welcome back. It's been about a week since I was down in the shed here. Today is a hell of a lot better in temperature than what I was in the last probably 2 weeks. We've had upwards of 40 degrees and that sort of stuff, just over the 100 degree Fahrenheit. Today's around about 27. What's that, about 80 something I think it is, Fahrenheit. So it's pretty cool, ish. It's cool for me anyway. I'm going to be sort of starting, as I said, working my way back from the cross tie box back through the tail cone, through the varying ribs, to ensure that I've got them orientated correctly, to ensure that I've got them up the right way, you know, it's things like that. Working my way right back to the tail cone, looking at all of the assemblies that hold the Y-tail in spot, the Y-tail spar in spot. Basically dry assembling as much as I physically can before I commit to the riveting of any of the sides and the like, or even upsizing if I can sort of get away with it for a length of time. Dry assembling's a hell of a lot better to do at this stage, I think, until I get it right. One other thing I'll be doing, and I'll just flip the old camera around and show you what I mean. And just before I get on to what I'll be doing, you may see that I've now removed the bench ply that I had on top of here and reduced its size down to a workable bench, so I can actually give a bench itself. So I've only got this as my bench now down the end, so I can gain access to the underside should I need to sort of climb underneath there and get into all of these uprights and the like. You'll see that I've just removed that rib, that bottom cross tie there at the moment. That's where that little, you may recall that little V-shapey thing that has some pulleys on it, which is coming from those two pulleys there, which come from the rudder itself, or rudder pedals itself, I should say. Coming back, so I'm going to be doing that today, working on that today. So just with this frame, what I've done here, this workbench, I'll be setting up a laser level at some stage. There's the old laser level sitting up there, a good quality DeWalt level, laser level. It gives me 3 axes on that. So I'll be shooting a line straight down here, center lining the cross ties as best I can, positioning it on the workbench, whether I build it on its turtle deck side down or whether I build it on this way and have this level at the top, or just leave it in this position. I don't know that there's anything on the drawings that tell us either way. You know, at some stage you're probably going to have to commit to one way, but what I mean by that is that once I shoot the laser level down the longitudinal length of the tail cone, I want to ensure that these sides are both plumb, and I take this sort of moment out of it. You might just see that really twisting like that. That is to ensure that I've got this plumb true, you know, like you'll even see how much that tail, that last rib sort of moves before I even commit to doing these. I know at some stage I have to put the underside of the skin on. I haven't done that yet. I'll probably flip it over for that, then put the skin on to ensure that I've got it right. The skin can either then be removed, or I'll leave it in situ, raised off these timbers so the clecos don't get in the road. I'll work it out as I basically go. I know I'm probably going on a little bit, so I'll just race up to here and to show you what I'll be starting on today. This is this Y section of pulleys, which is on this little plan view of it there. So I've just got out a couple of the parts. So this, when that goes back in spot, faces forward. Then off the back side of this, facing aft, there are these couple of, this is so hard to do with my left hand, so I'll just change over. There's a couple of ribs that go into here, there, that tie back to the, that's better, tie back to the other cross tie box, number 5 I think it is. I think this is number, what's this one? That's number 3. Yeah, that's number 3. So going back to the cross tie box number 4. This is basically to position the, I'm going to call it a tail mixer. I know it has a name, another name. I'll just go up here and I'll show you what it looks like. It's the little This is the little device just here. So it looks like that, and it takes the push rods for the ruddervators. It takes the cabling for the little tiny stub rudder. So it's all, you know, a lot more to talk about that when I get into it. So let's just sort of just hold fast on that. I hope I'm not waffling again like I would probably normally do. So I'm just going to start doing these, work on these now, work my way back, and I'll just progressively show you at each stage, and then we can sort of talk about how how I will be bracing the aeroplane frame up, so I can start to cleco all of these silver clecos. At the moment, what I've done is I've only drilled these through to the longerons. None of these have been drilled through yet. Why? Because I just want to ensure that I've got it true and plumb and everything, so I'm then sort of upsizing as I go, probably more so correctly than just relying on it being plumb and true at the moment. Now, please excuse me if I'm waffling. It will make sense as I brace all this thing up and get it underway. It's horses for courses. I'm sure there's probably 1,000 different ways to approach this, be it flipped on its head, be it built this way, be it you know, whether we bring this section up and build the whole lot level with some packers at this end. I don't know, so I don't really think it matters too much at this stage. So anyway, I'm going to proceed on and build these little tiny little pulleys into here. I've had to cut will be cutting some little ties here, some little, what do they call them, a pulley retainer plate out of the stock materials supplied in the kits. That's the 1/8 stuff there, I hope. I've converted it from the decimal back to 1/8, 0.125 is 1/8, I'm hoping. So I've measured it every way, shape or form, so I'm pretty sure that's right. Put a couple of pilot holes in him, be cutting these out this morning, and putting the little pulleys on, getting this dry assembled, throw it into the aeroplane, and work my way back to the to the mount beam, I think they call it, which is the mixer type of arrangement, does all that. I've got to stop waffling, I better start building, and I'll talk with you soon. Welcome back. I've completely set up the aircraft in its jig now, ready for at least looking at maybe upsizing the cross tie boxes themselves, cross tie box and all of the uprights and bottom and lower cross ties all the way through the, I'm going to call them ribs, they're probably not. I had a lot of difficulty squaring it up and getting the twist out of the airframe, and just let me stress one thing, there wasn't that much of a twist in it. I'm just being absolutely fanatical when it comes to getting the twist out of it. It was probably only about a 1 or 2 mil in it, and we'll spin the camera around and we'll have a bit of a look. Just before I do, if you can hear that little bumping noise, these chooks are I have got no idea what they're eating, but they're pecking away at, look at them. I have got no idea what they're doing. They've been pecking at the plywood for an hour, whether it's little aluminium shavings or not, but I don't even think they know what they're eating. What are you doing, you chooks? Hey, go on. Anyway, there's the aircraft frame and its jig. I'll start off this side. I've put this little packer on this side just to get the aft end across a little bit. It was just giving me a little bit of curry in the tail section there. If you look down there, you'll probably just see the green line. It's running right through the center of that hole and right down the bottom. It's fine. Moving back to the next rib, you'll see it just slightly offset on that one there, but down below it's right on that line there, so I don't know whether to live with that line, whether it's just my mark that's slightly out. It's probably my mark a little bit. If I just pull that across a little bit, it'll probably do it, so I can live with that. Moving my way forward, crash. You'll see it through there, it's all good. Coming around here, oh dear, so tight around here now, I've got bits of stuff everywhere. I've got a line through there which is cutting here, it's cutting here. I've leveled up a little bit. I'll just grab the little inclinometer and I'll just go through the process that I did to ensure. So technically speaking, if I throw that across on there, bear in mind you also have to have this running with the rib. You can't level if it's like that. I probably don't even need to tell you all that, but I'll put that on there like that. Reset the inclinometer to 0. That should be 0. I'll just turn that round that way. Can you hear them chooks? They're just belting away at that plywood. I've got no idea what they're eating. Anyway, we'll just get that back to 0.5. Sorry, 0. There it is, it's 0.1. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. And forward, just up on here, there's a straight edge across there. That technically speaking should be level, which I can live with that. Oh, here, oh, look at that. I can live with that. Thought it was 0.1 for a second, but it's damn spot on the money. All right, this is all good. So I'll just quickly go through what I have done since the last this morning. So I've taken these two little pulleys off. I've assembled all of this. That was a pain in the ass to do this job too, by the way, so I pity those that's going to be doing it behind me. These two beams that come through here, there was no marks on these two little angle brackets here either side. I basically got the access hatch here. This side was correct because it had pilot holes in it. I laid the access hatch over, as you can see, like that, lined it up with the two furthest point holes apart, which told me that it was in the correct spot. Put a little mark over here and put a little mark over here. Took it off, took all the frame and everything off, took it over to the workbench and just double checked the distance back from here to here to here, adjusted a little bit, and I was happy with it. So it's in situ. It's works for me. So this basically the skin can now go on. Whether I do the skin now, I probably am not, only because I think at this stage I might upsize all of the cross ties and the formers all the way through on the rivets through here only at this stage. That'll free me up some silver clecos. Then once that's done, I can then lay the sheet, the underside sheet onto here, cut all this access panel out, drill the silver clecos on the underside sheet, and then probably start looking at upsizing all the sides. I think that's probably the way to go, but at the moment it's going to remain in the jig. It's not going anywhere. It's secure now. It's held here and it's held up there. It can't move. Now bear in mind that the jig that I've made here is the aeroplane in the jig held fast is only as good as the bench itself, and that's why I've put these braces on everywhere. There's a brace up the end. It's basically stops it from wobbling. When I was building the aeroplane before, I could move it on that, but I can't move that now. That's pretty good. So again, I'm waffling. I'm going to close this video off now and call it on this one and edit it, but I'm going to continue working, which will be in the next video. So when I come back to you, I would have already built some stuff, but I'll do a little bit of a quick intro. And again, thanks to all those who are watching, and I will probably sign off now. Just before I do, I've got a number of really good comments starting to come through now, which I'm really happy with one gentleman. Now I'm going to just quickly stop the video so I can read his name out, because it's impolite of me if I don't. So I'll just stop it and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, back. Sorry about that, Russell. That's Russell. Now I'm hoping I've got his surname correctly. It's I would pronounce it Russell Simonita, or not Simon Eater, so it's Simonita. So my apologies if I got it wrong. He came up with a couple of quick good questions, which I'm just going to go through them. The most one that sort of pricked my ears up was that he's talking about the tin canning effect. I think it's a terminology used, like a tin can, I guess. When you sort of have an empty tin can, it makes a bit of a rattly sound if it's got nothing in the vessel itself. So he's talking about that. Now I had actually seen a couple of forums or some talks about people putting, some sort of either another aluminium angle on the side here. I think I remember seeing one gentleman that actually did rivet it in. It's non-structural. They can be either Sikaflexed on there or something like that. So I'm going to do some more research on it, and hopefully I can provide something on that with everybody. I don't think it's mandatory. It's just a bit of an annoying thing. And if I understand Russell correctly, he did sort of say that tin canning effect does go. So if anyone's got some comments that have built the Legacy, the earlier models, or even the Bs for that matter, that has heard of this tin canning effect, I'd greatly appreciate comments and what they've done about it. The other thing that he asked me was whether I was going to put it in a Jabiru, and I'm assuming that because in Australia here, that's one of the engines they commonly have over. I think it's even produced here, but no, the answer is no. I'm going to stick to what was this aeroplane, I believe, was designed around, which is the Aero V engine, and I am getting the turbo version. And that has actually, I've just got confirmation from Sonex this morning that they've received my payment. So I took advantage of last month's. It was about 10% off, I think, so it saved me a little bit of money, and the money that I did save on it actually paid for the freight, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So anyway, that should be arriving, I don't know, let's call it 8 weeks, 7 weeks. I'm going to get the propeller at the same time. I'll go through what prop I've chosen and the spinner, and that is it. I will talk with you all soon, wrap this video up and post it off, and yeah, close it off. Talk with you soon. Bye. Hi, welcome back. Just a very quick end to this video that I'll be posting very shortly. I just want to show you, I've just quickly dry fitted the underside of the skin, marked out. There's an access panel for the Waiex that goes directly under the beams which support the mixer box, and also just slightly forward of that access panel there's the two, you remember the V-shaped pulleys that come through from the rudder pedals through just behind the cross tie box. There's two pulleys, then they come back down to this V-shaped pulleys. If you can see the green on my face, it's from the laser level. I'm not an alien, but I'll just quickly spin the camera around and go through what I've done. Let's put that onto 0.5. Okay, so you'll just, if you look up through there, you'll actually, if it shows it, you'll just see that green line running straight through the aft there. So that's, I'm happy with that. That's the center line. I have marked out the access panel which will go in there. Now what I'm going to do for this, just in case I don't stuff up the underside of the skin, I'm going to do in small bites of the cherry. I'm going to sort of come back at about a 25mm, the old inch and the old Imperial size, around that. Have a little bit of a look in, because I think that the intent is for that line through there is to be riveted onto that little beam that goes through there, as well as this, then this here goes on top of that, which these rivets through here will have to be dimpled. Then this is a removable access panel to get all the little mixer boxes inside there. Just moving my way forward, you'll see that green line, the center line running through. It is still running down the line here, down that line there, and I've just dry fitted it because I believe that's part of this process, just to dry fit it all and get it right. Just clear coat in across the cross ties only. I probably won't be riveting it. Sorry, I'll start again. I probably won't be clear coating it yet. I will make my mind up when I post the next video. So this video is going to close off, and I will chat